Alright, hi there YouTube, it's me, Morphsuit America, and in this video I'll be talking about Transcended Draco Bloodwind. Now, all of this information that I'm using, like this website talking about how to get the Korean Dragon Blades and other good dealio, will be in the description below. And at the end of this video, it's also going to take you to some previous videos talking about my previous reviews on some certain Transcended allies. But anyways, let me get started and talk about Transcended Draco Bloodwind. Now, to make Transcended Draco Bloodwind, you will need Ultimate Deified Draco Bloodwind, Ultimate Dragon Buster Key Arnis, 50 Transcended Essences, and 50 million gold. Now, he will be one of the first few Transcended Allies that will be released into Global when Transcended Allies are out. His class is an archer, he delivers DPS, and the weapon effects usually are, or the ones that are recommended, are 2 times the damage over time, or 1 cooldown reduction in damage over time. Weapon stats: critical damage, critical rate, defense penetration, accuracy, or boss damage. And single cards effects would be boss damage, and dual cards are dexterity and boss damage. And when it comes to triple as well, you can go for something like very damage or base attack. But yeah, you can also view the max stats on this website at your own time. Now, when it comes to Bloodwind's performance, he is heavily in DPS. He's really useful when it comes to world bosses. For his survivability, support, and crowd control, it's kind of down there compared to his offensive. But as you can see, he excels well in a lot of the world bosses on Inotive. In the Korean Dragon Blades tier list, however, and note it's not going to show up on the screen, he has an average score of 7.86, his ranking is 15, and pretty much, yeah, he does excel well in a lot of boss modes, like Guild Conquest, Guild Adventure, Hydra, Chariot, Golem. He actually does well in Cerberus, Hydra, Revenge of Belphegor as well. He does really well in Revenge of Belphegor, in Tower Validation, and he's okay in tag matches. But yeah, pretty much, this guy is very handy when it comes to world bosses. Now, the better question is, would you get him, or would you get someone else, like maybe Margaret, or Arrow Trigger, or maybe, who's the other one? Who's the archer for the Septon Archangel? Llewellyn! I think Llewellyn is better than Bloodwind, question mark. But yeah, Llewellyn is up there. And then there's also Transcended Awakened Wenloon now. Bloodwind's girlfriend, waifu. I don't know if they're actually married and whatnot, but they did kiss in chapter 2 of the storyline. But yeah, pretty much this goes hand in hand to what the Korean tier list has as well, except the only thing is they don't have Cerberus mode in here. But yeah, Bloodwind's very handy when it comes to world boss. Moving on, let me talk about his abilities. And his normal attack seems very simple, deals AoE damage. And let me go over here, the battle effects are on, and let me just showcase what his normal attack looks like. And it says AoE, not splash damage. Compared to Bright Spark, it says splash damage when it comes to her normal attack. But for Great Soul, it's AoE, so most likely the damage is constant throughout the like when he hits all of his enemies. And apparently it has a shield break as well, so I'm assuming that lowers down the defense, but it doesn't state that here. Moving on, his first active skill, called Piercing Arrow. This inflicts 3,887% damage to all enemies, removes all buffs, reduces their defense by 77%, and stuns them for 12 seconds. Cooldown for this is 14.6 seconds, and you can lower this down by having cooldown reduction on your weapon effects. But yeah, let's see what the first active skill does. And it's one giant flaming arrow that hits all of them. It stuns them, it lowers down the defense, so yeah, this definitely means it lowers down their defense, but I don't know by how much. But yeah, his first skill is just him slightly getting up into the air and just releasing an arrow that goes through all of the enemies and just stunning them for a good amount of while. Good 12 seconds, but yeah. Now moving on to second active skill, Broad Arrow. Inflicts 4,010% damage to all enemies and inflicts damage over time. Bleed debuff. Immune to Dispel. That inflicts 320% damage for 6 seconds and increases Bloodwind's normal attack damage by 120%. Cooldown for this is 17.5 seconds. And nope, that's my task manager. Anyways. Wait, does his dog rushes towards them, and then he just unleashes a hell of arrows into the air. What does that little thing does? Does a dog create... Wait, I'm confused. What does the dog do exactly? Does it inflict the bleed damage, or does it stun them, or what? I have no clue, but I think that's kind of alright for the hound to do that. I don't know. To be honest, I'm very confused why he has a hound. But yeah, or whatever this dog type is. But yeah, his dog just like runs right towards them, and then I don't know, maybe it's a distraction. Pay attention to the dog, pay attention to the dog, and then Bloodwind just unleashes a rain of arrows onto their asses for not paying attention. I don't know. But I guess that's alright. Gives the dog a purpose to do something instead of just standing there. Like, his first active skill, he just stands there and growls at them, maybe to distract them still. And then his active skill, he just his normal attack, he just roars at them or howls at them. But anyways, moving on. His third active skill, Bloodstorm, increases self-attack speed by 162%, attack by 255%, and avoids all enemies' attack for 11 seconds. Okay, that sounds kind of... Okay, that's definitely a buff for himself, and the cooldown for this is 25 seconds. But yeah, by avoids all enemies' attack for 11 seconds, does he not get hit by anything no matter what? So he's immune to attack? Well, I wouldn't say immune, but that's pretty handy for him. If he wants to just dish out a ton of damage and you can't hit him, and then yeah, for those 11 seconds. But all he does is have some sort of aura, a leash from it beneath his feet, and then a gust kind of swirls around him, and then you also see the attack increase sign on him as well. But yeah. Now his first passive skill, Concentrated Fire. During normal attacks, reduces all targets' defense by 20% for 10 seconds. His normal attack does at maximum 100% damage if there's less than 4 enemies. 500% damage is spread amongst them. During normal attacks, reduces all targets' defense by 20% for 10 seconds. His normal attack does add to 100%. Okay, so if there's more than 4 enemies, he does his maximum 100% damage. But there's less than 4 enemies, he does 500% damage amongst them? Question mark? Yeah. Wait, so he gets a lot more damage if there's less than 4 enemies. That explains why he does a lot of damage to the world bosses. If there's only one of them. Or maybe, how much heads does Hydra have? He's alright in Hydra, so I'm guessing that it doesn't matter really. This will be still handy even if there's more than 4 enemies, but yeah. That sounds like a very handy perk when it comes to world bosses. Blood Contract, his second passive skill. Increases attack speed for entire allied party by 30%. For every Draco in the allied team, self-attack speed plus 10%, all enemies receive 30% more damage. Okay, yeah, it seems like all of the Dracos kind of piggyback off of each other, or kind of give each other benefits if you have a lot of Dracos on your team. His max skill, Hatred. Every time he avoids an attack or he hit an enemy, his hatred is increased by 1. For each hatred buff, his attack is plus 14%. Stacked 40 times equals 560%. Okay, so he's buffing himself a lot. And yeah, most likely this is also gonna be handy for his third active skill because he does avoid enemy attacks for 11 seconds. So yeah, that... And depending on how much attacks you're kind of dishing out over time, this is gonna stack pretty quickly. And then his ultimate skill. Ultimate skill doubles his second skill's damage over time damage. Every time he uses his third skill, 5 of his max buffs are instantly added. Wait, 5 of his max buffs are instantly added. Oh, okay, so by max buffs, it's referring to hatred. So he gets 5 hatred every time he uses his third skill. Yeah, pretty much if you have him at max, this is going to be handy, his third active skill, along with him hitting stuff. But if you get him at ultimate status too, his max skill will be increased even faster, or it's going to get stacked up faster and faster and faster. Because you get an instant 5 hatred every time he uses his third active skill, and then you also get an X amount of points because he's avoiding enemies' attack for 11 seconds, and yeah, that just increases. So he is quickly getting a lot of oomph from his hatred. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the Korean Dragon Blaze. Oh, well, excuse me. That's pretty much it when it comes to Transcended Draco Bloodwind. So, what do you guys think about this guy? Do you think he is still handy for World Boss? He was one of the first Transcended Allies that got released. He was very popular for World Boss way back then. But, yeah. Is Arrow Trigger better? Is Wenloon better? Is, who else is there? Llewellyn better than Bloodwind? Or is he okay to have still? Or if you have an ultimate Arnis key, getting Arrow Trigger and Bloodwind is alright? Or let me know in the comments down below. And if you can help me clarify some stuff in the comments, if you can kind of help me clarify some stuff wherever I question myself when I was reading those abilities, definitely do so. Or kind of give me your overall input on this Transcended Ally. If you agree with what the resources I used stated, that he's alright in World Bosses, he excels well in Severus, and etc, etc. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys around. Peace.